practice and what we do from the time that we end until we join again. For coaches, it's different than it is for players. Players oftentimes it's maybe doing some treatment at their place. I know Lindsay used to talk about being in the the leg ice thing that they do. I don't know what these things are called. But basically sitting there watching Netflix while she's icing to prepare herself for the next day. So we have a younger group that's probably not in that category. So I suspect they're probably out partying when I'm away from them. I don't know what they're doing, Netflix or something like that. But coaches, when we're not with them, it's nonstop preparation. It's preparation of watching the practice we just had. It's preparing practice for the next day, going through our checklist of things that we want to make sure we have in, or if we're not good at something, maybe we have an upcoming opponent, being aware of what we might get exploited. And on a day off for a player, they're probably coming in and shooting. They're probably doing something. They're coming in and get treatment. Days off for coaches are the busiest days because everyone knows it's your day off. And so here they come. They have lots that they want you to do. And then in that day off, the amount of preparation for the coming days. All-Star break will be the next time that they get truly time off to go spend time with whomever they like. Every once in a while when we're on a road trip, maybe if like we were in Vegas and we had a day off the next day, players could leave and go, if they wanted to go visit people or do whatever, they're able to do those things periodically throughout the season. But time off is not plentiful, in season, nor should it be. We got work to do.
Well, didn't you talk about last year how Waylon went from exactly that, thinking that, okay, practice is over, now I have to get my ice bath and go home, and then all of a sudden she's coaching and she's working till midnight.
Yeah, she texted me and she said, Coach, when you went home, did you do this, this, and this? And then did someone call you at like 11 o'clock at night? Yeah, yep, that's all of it. It's funny what the players just don't realize. I don't know how they think it all happens that we do, but it's pretty nonstop.
So you mentioned Tasha Howard earlier, and you made a joke, but you've explained the rationale behind that trade before. Do you, and this is more philosophical, as a general manager, ever go back and revisit those things? Do you ever regret any moves you make, or do you always say, I made the best move I could make in the moment, and I got to move on?
Well, I can tell you that, the reasons that we had for doing it, we were sure about. Of course, the way things turned out, you go, well, we probably could have done this to make this happen to keep Tasha. I also, again, sometimes when you get removed from a situation, you forget exactly what was going on. The conversation I had with Tasha, to be very frank, we got to the point where it was not about money. It was really more about opportunity. And when she knew that, Brunson was still a part of the team and Syl, her feeling was that she wasn't going to be able to play and start, and that was what was being offered to her in Seattle, was the opportunity to be a starter. And so she just felt like the opportunity was better. I can't fault her for that. We did things a certain way, and so if you were a bench player, you probably didn't play as much as you wanted to play. We won championships, so I can't regret that part of it. But now as a team, kind of turns over, you said you would sure like to have a player like Tasha. So if I could do it again, if Tasha were more open to it, for sure. You have that. When it doesn't work out, you go back and go, we probably should have done this or that. But I think that's a wrong place to live, in that you do the best you can in the moment and what you think is right. And I think at the other side, I'm really happy for Tasha. I don't think we could have given Tasha what she got last year. The pairing of Sue Bird and Tasha Howard is a hell of a pairing for what Tasha does well. I didn't have that for her on this team. So I'm actually happy for Tasha that it worked out. Would I love for her, to be playing for us and at this particular time? Sure, absolutely. Yep. Yeah. And paying her whatever she wanted to get paid. That wasn't the issue.
Right. Yes, sir?
First, thank you for giving Tasha a chance, for being open to that. I think that shows your culture. You wanted her to succeed, and if it's not here, that's okay. I want to wish you the best. How do you get these teams to continue to trade you good players? Sims and Browns this year. You said in the offseason, guys, they hang up on me, and I think in a way I thought, okay, maybe she won't be able to do anything, and then magic has happened. How do you keep that going?
I think, it's kind of, life is funny, as they say. In the time of our most need, we had situations on other teams that we were able to capitalize on. Can you imagine the LA Sparks ever picking up the phone and calling the Minnesota Lynx to do something? Well, that's because they had something else they wanted to do. And so in a couple situations, we just took advantage of being in the right place at the right time and having a need and the ability financially to do whatever we wanted to do. Other teams might have wanted these players, but financially could not. And so just getting a little bit lucky and being ready. I think Lexie Brown is going to be a pretty good player. That was a situation where it just wasn't working out for her. Kind of both sides says probably best. And I said this before, I give Connecticut credit. I think it works best when a player doesn't want to be there, that you help them get to where they want to be. Long term, that helps your franchise. When players know that that's how you'll treat them. So I only want people that want to be here. Lexie Brown wants to be here. Odyssey Sims is excited about being here, as you could see. So I think our draft picks are thrilled. So we just have right now just the ability, I think, to carry on the culture. And that's what I'm most excited about. And we have been lucky, to be able to, because I tell you what, just before draft day, look at what the team was. Look at what our guard play was. And so, sometimes you get lucky. Yeah. We're excited.
Next question, and do us a favor too. Every time you ask a live question, give us your name just so we can get to know you as we.
I am Carol.
Hi, Carol. How are you?
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's okay.
Can I ask two
That's what
questions?
I'm here for. Sure.
I have more than two, but I'll ask two.
You're like that media member over in Japan that was asking those questions. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that. I wondered if you were aware that there is an internet phenomenon called Reevisms.
What is it?
Reevisms.
Reevisms. I'd love to hear what those.
They were talking about you on another podcast, and several times they referred to. Here's another Reevism.
Okay. Did you catch any of the Reevisms?
I'll write them down. I'll
I can
re-listen
confirm
and write
or deny.
them down. Was the Las Vegas Aces team that I saw play, was it Phoenix the other night? Mm-hmm. The same team that you guys played in your exhibition game, or were they very different? And what's the scouting report on them?
It was the same team, right. In that Cambay showed up the day of our game but did not play, and then obviously did not play in their opener. I think she is scheduled to play in their next game. So yes, it was the same team. I think the scouting report on them is, any Bill Lambier coach team is going to defend the paint like crazy. You're not going to be able to score in there. It's really crowded. So if you can shoot, you have a chance to beat them and make their defense pay. We shot 29 threes that night because they weren't going to let us in the paint, and we shot I think 34%. And so 35 is a really good number. And so this team shot 34% on 29 threes. Odyssey made 5 of them. She was 5 of 7. She had a heck of a day. The scouting report on them, Asia Wilson's really good. They're going to be physically tough. When they have Cambage in there, obviously it's going to look really different. I hope it's really hard for Asia Wilson to be in the paint after having Liz in there. Jackie Young is the number 1 draft pick. She's a starting point guard for them. Kayla McBride's a really good player, that can shoot it. I think she's really hungry, really ready to turn things around. She was in San Antonio during the tougher years, so I think they're on the verge of doing some good things. But I'm good as long as we always beat the Aces. I was at Bill's house the night before, and he was telling me I got to play to win tomorrow, and that's what you should do. And so are we. We're playing to win too, and. That was a good game for us because we got down 14, in that game, and then we had to come back, and just to see the way we responded, and then to have to hang on to win at the end, it was fun. It was really but it didn't. When they say it doesn't mean anything, they just didn't count it. It meant a lot. It meant a lot to our team, and but it was the same team that you saw against Phoenix.
Thank you, Carol. Appreciate it. WNBA ratings for the opening, I think, how do they phrase it? The opening tip weekend were up 25%. And you had the Chalk Talk today, and there were a lot of media people in there.
Yeah.
It does seem, we've been talking about it ever since we started doing the podcast together, but it does seem like the numbers continue to grow.
Well, it's a novel idea that when you actually show the product and have it accessible, that what follows is increased ratings. So, Women's sports are, it's just on the verge of exploding. People are starting to get it and what's needed. And what's needed is an investment mindset. The same thing you would do for a men's sport, you should do for a women's sport. It's what we did for men way back in the beginning when they were playing. We invested. We didn't note every loss that occurred on the men's side. Men can spend millions to start up a league, and then it fails in the first week, and we don't say anything about it. We're like, yep, that's just men's sports. We build them stadiums, etc. The taxpayers pay for it. The same thing, needs to be done as far as a mindset for women's sports, and I think we're seeing that. CBS Sports Network being able to, the game on right now, pretty good game. Indiana Fever staying within 3 here in the third quarter. Indiana's much improved. They went to New York and won a game. This is their second road game. One of these undefeated teams is going to lose tonight. They're each 1-0.
Have you been paying attention to the Gopher softball story?
World Series, baby.
Yep.
World Series.
And that's a sport that ESPN has always televised.
They have. Yeah. And it's popular. It's as you said, like, today's outing with all the media. I love our media because I think they're genuinely interested. This is not somebody saying, hey, you drew the short straw, you got to go cover the Lynx. Everyone that's there, I think, has a genuine interest and I think enjoy, the experience of covering our team. That makes me really proud. But like you said, with this coverage, media is a big reason why our team is able to be as successful as we are. The coverage, our fan base, that's why free agents want to come here. So when we get to a place in our sport where we have true free agency, this is going to be one of those places that people want to come for all the reasons that you guys make it popular.
And during the Chalk Talk, you have so many new faces. There have been so many newsy developments that we've talked about newcomers. That's natural. But one thing you were really highlighting during the Chalk Talk today was Sylvia Fowles' ability to position herself, to catch the ball in what might look like an awkward position, and yet she can finish. And she was really efficient the other night. She is probably even better than I'll personalize it. She's probably even better around the basket than I give her credit for, because I always felt like she was a great rebounder and kind of a high volume offensive player, but she finishes from some awkward angles.
She does, and her teammates don't always put her in the best position. Sometimes they just throw it because they know Syl's going to catch it. Now, Syl might be now pinned along the baseline and getting double and triple teamed, and she's got to find a way out of it. What we're learning is how to, put her in better position so that she can. It's okay that she has to twist around. She's a tremendous athlete. Has matured so much in terms of her game. She shoots 60%, better than 60%. That's there was a time that wasn't the case, that Syl wasn't as good around the basket. She's worked so hard on her touch, and her time with us has just been really special. And MVP season, and what I like about this team is that there's not going to be pressure on Syl to play 35 minutes, and that if she has 30, we win. She has to be really good defensively. She has to rebound. Obviously, she has to score on the inside. But it's not like she's the only player, and I think she's really enjoying that she's got some people that can give her some space and are good passers and recognize the good chances that they can throw it into Syl for something easy.
Last weekend, I did a piece on Dave St. Peter. He's the Twins president. He's been doing that job for a long time now. He's been in the organization for many decades. And one thing he talked about a lot, and he didn't have to open himself up. He just decided to. He wanted to get this certain message out. He was saying, working crazy hours cost him his marriage, and he's tried to scale back so that the other people he works with now don't ever feel like they're obligated to do that. He wants people to have a good quality of life. He wants them to work efficiently, not just work 18 hours a day the way the Twins people used to. You have your family here. You do a lot of extra stuff.
Did my wife put you up to this?
No. Well, not that I'm going to admit. But I am wondering, how do you find some semblance of balance? Because you not only are the general manager and the coach of a franchise, you also do extra things. You don't need to do this podcast. You don't need to do the Chalk Talks. You do extra things as well. So how do you balance it all?
I don't. I'll admit I'm the worst with balance. Once I get into the season, it's just really everything else takes a back seat. And that's just being honest. When I can carve out space, because my thing is, if I don't get what I need to get done, if I don't feel good about it, I'm not going to be very good in that free time. So I'd like to be able to go, okay, I feel good about this. Now let me go spend a few hours doing, family things or catching up on phone calls or whatever it is. But I feel like this is important. If I'm asking our players to do this, I want to show them what it looks like. As a coach of a team, I feel like me serving our community that gives us so much is what absolutely should happen. I enjoy the